In 1867, Kansas State University held its first commencement. 3 women and 2 men graduated that year. As the first land-grant university in the nation, this fledgling university had a vision of providing innovative education to all people. That early vision has continued through to the present, with over 250 majors and a diverse student body, including students from all 50 states and more than 100 countries. Becoming one of the nation's top 50 public research universities by 2025 is today's vision for tomorrow. With academic programs among the best in the nation and professors who are leaders in their fields, Kansas State University is an international leader in teaching, learning, service, and research. Today's graduates join over 200,000 alumni who are proud to call K-State their alma mater. Congratulations, and thank you to all those who have supported them through their undergraduate experience at Kansas State University.
Good afternoon. I'm Don Boggs, Associate Dean of the College of Agriculture, and I wish to thank our bagpiper, Terry Ferguson, a K-State alumnus, and our organist, Stephen Kachera, Senior in Applied Music, for the processional music today. Before we begin our proceedings, I'd like to take a moment to remember one of our students in the College of Agriculture that was tragically killed on Thursday night. Tyler Andrew Nelson was a senior in agricultural economics with a minor in animal science, and would have taken a lot of classes with many of our graduating students today. So let's take a moment of silence to remember Tyler. Thank you. It is now my pleasure to introduce Jessica McCall, a graduating senior in agronomy from Waterville, Kansas, to sing our national anthem. Throughout her time at K-State, Jessica was actively involved in organizations such as the Wheat State Agronomy Club, the Agronomy Ambassadors, and Ag Student Council. Jessica has gained work experience as a student researcher with the K-State Sorghum Genetics Program and through internships with the Kansas Crop Improvement Association and Farmway Co-op. Please stand as Jessica sings our national anthem. Jessica.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you very much, Jessica. That was outstanding. Audience, you may now be seated. Simone Holliday is a graduating senior in animal sciences and industry from Kansas City, Missouri, and she will now share reflections. Simone has been active in many organizations during her time at K-State. She served as president of the K-State chapter of the Minorities in Agricultural, Natural Resources, and Related Sciences, was a McNair Scholar, and a Residence Hall Community Assistant. Simone has completed multiple research projects through her work with the McNair Scholars Program, the Developing Scholars Program, and as a K-State Research and Extension Research Fellowship. She was also designated as a Cargill Scholar and a John Deere Scholar. In addition to her research activities, Simone participated in a faculty-led study tour to Ireland. After graduation, Simone plans to attend graduate school focusing on animal behavior. I am pleased to present Simone Holliday for reflections. Simone?
Okay, good afternoon. I would like to thank all of those who are in attendance, say congratulations to the graduates, and give a big thanks to the supporters. I have to say, all this happened so fast. It seems like just yesterday was February and we were still on the court after beating KU. Just last year, it seems like I started this journey at K-State in one of my many solo programs and MAPS. That one summer led to so many opportunities. Developing Scholars Program, DSP, and Minorities in Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Related Sciences, all manners. Those programs in particular led to so many early mornings working on my DSP project in a vet school lab and being covered in a pack of spit, but also late nights working in the university program's office and being president of Manners. All these wonderful and trying events, MAPS, DSP, Manners, McNair's, and KSRA, are why I'm here today. I want to say thank you to all those who supported and still support me. There are other few reasons why I'm here today. OChem on the whiteboards of leadership studies, form animal repro and anatomy diagrams, and words such as bobospongiosis, which I do know how to spell. You know, these are things that other colleges wouldn't understand. Things that will make them wonder what we do in the College of Ag and Animal Sciences. I admit I did well on some things, okay on others, and failed a few things, chemistry. Anyway, having those discouraging moments taught me something, that you're going to fail occasionally, and that's okay. Failure gives you a chance to learn and realize things that you didn't know before or were too hard to admit. We've all learned a lot of things in the last few years. Met a lot of people and made some strong, lasting relationships. And no matter where you go or what you do, don't forget that you believe purple, that every man is a wildcat, and that you always have a family. Don't forget to thank the people who make it a second home for most of us. We've come a long way. And thanks to K-State, we have a nice yellow brick road ahead of us. But for now, guess what? We made it. Thank you.
Thank you, Simone, for sharing your reflections. As we begin the program, I will introduce the platform party. I would ask each of them to stand as they are introduced, and please hold your applause until all have been introduced. Beginning on my immediate right is Dr. Sharon Thielen, Assistant Dean of Academic Programs. Jordan Peschel, a graduating senior in Agricultural Communications and Journalism. Simone Holliday, a graduating senior in Animal Sciences and Industry, and Jessica McCall, a graduating senior in Agronomy. On the second row, Dr. Ken Odie, Department Head of Animal Sciences and Industry. Dr. Curtis Kastner, Director of the Food Science Institute. Dr. Gordon Smith, Department of Grain Science and Industry, Department Head. Dr. John Ruberson, Head of the Department of Entomology. And Amy Button-Renz, the President and CEO of the K-State Alumni Association. Continuing on my left is Dr. John Floros, the Dean of the College of Agriculture and the Director of K-State Research and Extension. Dr. Kirk Schultz, President of Kansas State University. Dr. April Mason, Provost and Senior Vice President of Kansas State University. Dr. Jason Bergtold, an Associate Professor of the Department of Agricultural Economics. Dr. Zia Wiley, the Assistant Dean for Diversity, and Dr. Shannon Washburn, the Assistant Dean of Academic Programs. On the second row, Dr. Alan Featherstone, Head of the Department of Agricultural Economics. Dr. Chris Boone, Head of the Department of Communications and Agricultural Education. Dr. Joe Harner, Head of the Department of Biological and Agricultural Engineering. Dr. Gary Pierzynski, Head of the Department of Agronomy. Dr. Candace Shoemaker, Head of the Department of Horticulture, Forestry, and Recreational Resources. And Dr. Ernie Minton, Associate Director of the Research of the Agricultural Experiment Station. Thank you, and please join me in thanking our platform group for being with us today. We are very pleased that you've all joined us for the Fall 2015 College of Agriculture Commencement. Today we are assembled to honor an excellent group of agricultural graduates for their many accomplishments. However, we also wish to acknowledge some other very important people the ones who have really made it possible for our graduates to succeed. And that would be the family members that are present today. We have many spouses and children, parents, siblings, grandparents, and even great-grandparents with us today. Will all of the family members of our graduates please stand and be recognized? And graduates, make sure you give them a big hug and a thank you for all that they've sacrificed so you can be here today. At this time, we will recognize and congratulate those students who are graduating with university academic honors and those students who have completed the College of Agriculture Scholars Program. Assistant Dean Shannon Washburn will introduce our honors graduates. Dr. Washburn.
Students, as I read your names, please stand at your location and remain standing until all your group has been introduced. Students graduating with an overall GPA of 3.75 and above on at least 60 K-State credits are designated cum laude. The cum laude graduates are Seth Filbert, Emma Hayes, Esther McCabe, Caitlin Morgan, and Chelsea Smith. Please join me in congratulating our cum laude graduates. Please be seated. Graduates who have earned an overall GPA of 3.85 or above are designated magna cum laude. Our magna cum laude graduates are Braden Hoke, Shannon Maxwell, Rachel Richenberger, Michaela Simmelink, and Richard Wood. Please join me in congratulating our magna cum laude graduates. Please be seated. Graduates who have attained an overall GPA of 3.95 or above are designated summa cum laude. Our summa cum laude graduates are Heidi Breeze, Janae Crossan, Dustin Criley, Madeline Lucas, Brooke Morris, Cody O'Brien, Kyle Phelan, and Sarah Ramsey. Please join me in congratulating our summa cum laude graduates. Please be seated. We have 5 graduates who have completed either the University Honors Program or the College of Agriculture Scholars Program. These students have completed additional coursework as well as completing an honors project under the supervision of a faculty member to earn the distinction of Scholars Program graduates or Honors Program graduate. Our Honors and Scholars Program graduates are Brooke Morris, Jordan Peschel, Kimberly Glotzbach, Rachel Richenberger, and Alicia Schur. Please join me in congratulating our Honors and Scholars Program graduates. You may be seated. Thank you. Dr. Boggs?
Thank you, Dr. Washburn. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Jason Bergtold as our commencement speaker. Dr. Bergtold is an associate professor in the Department of Agricultural Economics, where he teaches several courses for both undergraduate and graduate students. He serves as an academic advisor, supervises graduate students, and serves on numerous departmental and college committees. In addition to his teaching and advising responsibilities, Dr. Bergtold is actively engaged in scholarly research examining the impact and policy implications of conservation, bioenergy, agricultural expansion, and agricultural practices on crop production and land use, both domestically and internationally. Recognition of his teaching and research includes being awarded the 2014 Kansas State University Presidential Award for Excellence in Undergraduate Teaching and the 2013 Gamma Sigma Delta Outstanding Teaching Award. Dr. Bergtold enjoys helping students become engaged in learning, to develop the tools to critically analyzing problems, and to apply those tools to situations they encounter. We're pleased to welcome Dr. Jason Bergtold to the podium for his remarks. Dr. Bergtold.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to address these fine graduates, and congratulations to all the graduates on your accomplishments. Alex von Tobel, an entrepreneur and author, at a graduation ceremony similar to this one, said, "For many, graduation marks the end of formal student life, the end of long spring breaks at great vacation spots, and of thinking that a 10 a.m. class is too early." She didn't notice some classes here at K-State start at 7:30 a.m., and that's even too early for us professors. You've all completed your college journey to arrive at this point? Well, you may continue in graduate school, get a PhD like many of us up here on the platform and in the first few rows down below, and in a way, forever stay in college, which was some of our goals. Plus, that's a nice plug for graduate school. And you may never complete your journey. But for most of you, this is the end of a fantastic journey in your life, one of many you will embark on. So congratulations are in order. But you have one final task to complete. You all have to walk across this stage below me and receive your degree. As you cross the stage today, think about what you've accomplished. What does it mean? Where will it take me? What will I do with it? What was the cost, benefit, and return to me? After all, I am an economist. Will I remember to respond when my name is called? While they haven't given your degree yet, you should get it in the mail, as we still have finals weeks. And so, the journey's not quite over yet, but almost. But as you contemplate what all this means, think broader. How will I impact my own life, my family, my community, my state, my nation, and my world? We face many trials as a person, as a community, our state, and our nation, especially in agriculture. How will we feed a growing population and ensure food security? How will we conserve and protect our natural resources, our water, our environment? These are really big questions. To grapple with these, we need to dream, to act, and to contribute. Eleanor Roosevelt said, "The future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams." From my experiences, college provides an excellent education, but more than that, it provides a new worldview. It provides us a way to see beyond our local circumstances and dream globally, to think bigger, think wider, beyond what we thought what we could accomplish. This is what you take with you, a vast sea of ideas, experiences, thoughts, points of view that will allow you to dream big and possibly achieve big. Nothing is achieved in dreaming without action. Thus, you must act. You have to place one foot in front of the other to solve these problems. As one of my undergraduate students suggested I should make a really short speech, last about 10 seconds, he just said, "Don't screw it up." So act and use your degree. I quote from another great commencement speaker, Oprah Winfrey, but I will fail to hand out new cars and fabulous prizes. She said, "Education is the key to unlocking the world, a passport to freedom. So use your education to open doors and step through them. Put simply, don't waste what you've achieved here today by not pursuing your dreams, whether they be big or small. Set your path forward and walk it in confidence. You will continually along this path be buffeted by winds of change." Had to throw in another cliche. Remember, life is a highway, and you get to choose your off-ramp. So if you dream and want to achieve those dreams, you have to act. We, along with all the others in your life to this point, have helped to provide you with the means to take those first few steps. Finally, while walking your path, contribute. Make an impact on those around you in your community, in your family, and in your job. Make a positive impact and make decisions that benefit not only you, but those around you. Work to help solve problems we face with the tools you have and have learned and will learn. Give back. Given that Star Wars is right around the corner, who can forget the immortal words of Yoda? Try not. Do or do not. There is no try. To contribute, you have to dream, you have to act. As an economist, I would say contribute on the margin as you go, and my students know that very well. Make contributions that further your dreams and impact others on a daily basis. These can be kind words, a helping hand, fighting for a cause, or even potentially saving the world. That last one would be really cool. Overall, have a lasting impact. So in closing, remember you've completed one journey in life only to begin another. Remember to dream big, act willfully, and contribute in life. Impact those around you in a positive way, and strive to live and not only to be. Again, congratulations, and let the festivities begin. But first, remember to pass your finals. Thank you.
About ready to go register for one of his classes myself, so thank you, Dr. Bergtold. Jordan Peschel is a graduating senior in agricultural communications and journalism and was selected to deliver the graduate address. During her time at K-State, Jordan was a member of the K-State Student Foundation, the Agricultural Communicators of Tomorrow, and K-State Proud Student Opportunity Awards Committee. She served in officer roles within the College of Agricultural Ambassadors and the Student Alumni Board. Jordan was a College of Agricultural Student Governing Association Senator, and she also served as president of the Kansas FFA Association. She gained work experience interning with the Kansas Department of Agriculture and the Kansas Farm Bureau. She also worked as an undergraduate research assistant for the Department of Communications and Ag Education and as a conference facilitator for Skills USA. Jordan also participated in a faculty-led study tour to Ireland and a mission trip to Haiti. After graduation, Jordan plans to remain at K-State to complete a master's degree in agricultural education. I'm pleased to welcome to the podium, Jordan Peschel for the graduate address. Jordan?
Thank you, Dr. Boggs. As students and soon-to-be graduates of Kansas State University, we've had the privilege of learning from some of the most knowledgeable and compassionate educators. I'm sure for all of us, it would only take a second to think of a few concepts or pieces of advice that we've been fortunate to receive to help guide our careers at K-State. Because today presents such an opportunity to recognize the value of every hour spent here, I wanted to share a piece of advice that an instructor in an introductory course taught my class in my first semester here. On the last day of this semester, this instructor gave the class the same advice she gives her own children before they leave for school. Be nice, do your best, and be teachable. To me, those three ideas represent what it means to be graduates of K-State in this College of Agriculture. First, be nice. I think for many of us, if we were to describe our university, one of the first descriptors to come to mind would be family. My challenge is for each of us to never forget the experience of walking across campus and always seeing a smiling, familiar face somewhere. Or always knowing that there's caring faculty with an open door, ready to offer advice. Or even wearing purple, win or lose, in support of the family that we're always proud to support. Whatever it is that earns K-State that be nice, that family descriptor, remember it. Because that's the same be nice attitude that this world needs and that characterizes a leader in the industry that provides food and fiber for those who live in it. Second, do your best. We're entering an industry with more than 300 different careers, representing 17% of the US civilian workforce. That means there's a place for each of us to build careers that helps the agricultural industry meet needs tomorrow even better than it does today. But we can only do that if we're truly at our best. When we're taking on a new role or presenting a new idea, I hope we're nervous. I hope we're nervous because that role or idea represents something that matters to us, that we feel is purposeful. I hope we find challenging responsibilities that seem a little overwhelming. Overwhelming simply because we know the result of that responsibility could demonstrate our very best work. In our careers, I hope something's a little bit frustrating at times. Not frustrating to the point of unhappiness, but just enough to remind us that what we do matters enough that we want to create positive change and make it even that much better. View those challenges as opportunities to be our best. And third, be teachable. While it might be true that we might never again have to search the internet for the best deals on used textbooks, we're never done learning. That's especially true of an industry constantly working to find new solutions to meet the demands of a growing population. We come from a university of both teachers and learners. Agricultural economists, agronomists, animal scientists, agricultural engineers, communicators, entomologists, food scientists, educators, grain scientists, horticulturists, plant pathologists, all individuals who ask questions and seek solutions every day. While remaining confident in what we know, never be afraid to ask a question or learn from the expertise of someone sitting next to us. Think about those big moments in the history of agriculture. Would Norman Borlaug have sparked the Green Revolution if he'd been afraid to ask if there could be a more efficient way to produce wheat in different areas of the world? Or had not had the patience to continue learning while in the field? As agriculturalists, it's our responsibility to be teachable. Those words of advice, be nice, do your best, and be teachable, are just a few of many that I know I'll take with me, and I hope you do too. Congratulations, graduates.
Thank you, Jordan. Before we proceed to the degree ceremony, we are pleased to have Amy Button-Renz, President and CEO of the K-State Alumni Association, to bring special greetings on behalf of our K-State Alumni Association. Amy?
Good afternoon. I'm pleased to be part of your special day and offer congratulations on behalf of the K-State Alumni Association, representing more than 178,000 graduates who will be your lifelong K-State family. Today, as you receive your degree, we are honored to recognize you and all you have accomplished. We are also here to welcome you into a new relationship with your alma mater. Our mission at the K-State Alumni Association is to lead and inspire lifelong involvement that will benefit Kansas State University and all members of our Wildcat community. I would like to share 3 of our core values that guide us in our mission to keep you connected with K-State. The first one is link. The Alumni Association provides the lifelong link that alumni depend on to remain connected. You can stay in touch through hundreds of alumni activities held on campus, throughout the United States, and even internationally. Another value is tradition. You will likely celebrate a few traditions today as you sing the alma mater or take KSU photos at your favorite spot on campus. The third core value is purple, and I'm pleased that Jordan mentioned this in her remarks. For K-Staters, it's more than a color. It's a symbol of pride and connection. When you see someone wearing the color purple or a K-State class ring, you will feel that sense of family. In recognition of your graduation, the College of Agriculture and the Alumni Association are providing you with a complimentary 1-year membership to the Alumni Association. We hope you will enjoy the membership benefits and continue to be an active member. Our alumni are among the most loyal in the nation. In fact, you are now part of the #1 Alumni Association in the Big 12 Conference. And the best part is we've been #1 for the past 19 consecutive years. That loyalty is shared worldwide by generations of K-Staters who have the same passion for K-State that you feel today as you earn your degree from one of the finest universities in the nation. The Alumni Association is also pleased to present you with an exclusive alumni business card holder. We hope you will enjoy it, and as you go through life and your titles and your addresses change, please be sure to let us know. We want to make sure you are always connected to your K-State family. Congratulations, and go Cats.
Thank you, Amy. Graduates, we have a few additional announcements for the degree ceremony. The College of Agriculture is pleased to provide a 5x7 professional photograph of your graduation. One photo will be taken on the stage and a second will be taken by the backdrop at the rear of the seating area. Please pause and turn toward the camera to make sure you're ready for your photo when you receive your diploma cover. Family members, if you want to take pictures, you may do so from behind the rope area around the edge of the floor seating. Please refer to your commencement programs on pages 38 and 39 for the order in which graduates will be recognized. Graduates majoring in agribusiness through Wildlife Outdoor Enterprise Management are seated on the west side and will cross the stage from the west to the east. Remaining graduates are seated on the east side and will cross the stage from the east to the west. Please prepare for your photo just before your graduate approaches the stage and then return to your seat so that others can access the area. It is now my pleasure to introduce Dr. John Floros, Dean of the College of Agriculture and Director of K-State Research and Extension. Invite him to the podium for the conferral of degrees. Dean Floros.
Would all the graduates now please rise for the conferral of degrees? Come on. By the authority of the people of Kansas and the Kansas Board of Regents, and upon recommendation of the faculty and upon completion of all degree requirements, I am pleased to confer upon you the respective degrees you have earned at Kansas State University. Graduates, please move your tussles from the left side of your mortarboard to the left side. Okay. Please join me. Please be seated. At this time, college administration will prepare for the diploma cover presentation. The department heads will present diploma covers to each graduate at their as they cross that stage. I also invite K-State President Kirk Schultz and Provost April Mason to join me in congratulating the graduates as they cross the stage.
Thank you, Dean Floros. I will now introduce the graduates for individual recognition on the stage and presentation of diploma covers. We will proceed in order by major as listed in your program on pages 38 and 39. I would like to thank our faculty marshals, Drs. Kim Williams, Keith Harris, Mickey Ransom, Dave Nichols, Laurie Baker, and Anita Dilley, who will assist in directing you to and from the stage. It is now my privilege to introduce Dr. Alan Featherstone, head of the Department of Agricultural Economics, who will present the diploma covers to the graduates receiving the Bachelor of Science in Agribusiness and the Bachelor of Science in Agriculture with a major in agricultural economics. Janae Ann Crossan. Nathan William Harden. Salvador Jurado Ramirez. Cody Lee O'Brien. Mark Allen Peterson. Kelsey Taylor Shields. Samuel Douglas Stivers. Lyndon Lee Stevie. Tasha Leah Tankersley. Kyle J. Tennant. Paige Lane Wallace. Emily Ann Page Warner. John Turner White. Luis Rafael Zavala Abed. Next, presenting our graduates with a degree in agricultural economics. Brian Jerry Burhoop. Ryan Michael Ferguson. Joseph Patrick Kuchera. Jesse Luke Mann. Shannon Beth Maxwell. Melissa K. Miller. Now I would like to introduce, I am pleased to introduce Dr. Chris Boone, head of the Department of Communications and Agricultural Education, who will present diploma covers to the graduates receiving the Bachelor of Science in Agriculture with a major in Agricultural Communications and Journalism. Kelly Ann Hannigan. Sarah Christine Harris. Nicole Irene Lane. Daniel Ray Martin. Caitlin Nicole Morgan. Jordan Marie Peschel. Dana Marie Schultz. Alicia Jean Schur. Now I would like to introduce Dr. Joe Harner, head of the Department of Biological and Agricultural Engineering, who will present graduates receiving the Bachelor of Science in Agriculture with a major in Agricultural Technology Management. Landon Ray Herbal. Joshua Allen Lamphere. Michael Trevor Petrie. Next, Dr. Gary Przinski, head of the Department of Agronomy, will present to the graduates receiving the Bachelor of Science in Agriculture with a major in agronomy. Joseph Daniel Baker III. Abigail Joy Bartell. Jacob Bevan. Vincent Andrew DeMarinville. Seth Allen Filbert. Caleb Reinhardt Gravison. Reed Benjamin Coop. Jessica Ellen McCall. Brooke Nicole Morris. Jacob Scott Peterson. Tyler Houston Royal. Ashley Kennett Stewart. Next, Dr. Candace Shoemaker, head of the Department of Horticulture, Forestry, and Recreation Resources, will present to graduates receiving the Bachelor of Science degree in Agriculture with majors in Horticulture, Park Management and Conservation, and Wildlife and Outdoor Enterprise Management. Justin Chandler. Sydney Elise Danner. Dylan James Seeley. Aaron Michael Stansberry. Kellen John Stewart. Derek Dean Williams. Hillary Brennan Woodard. Next are graduates receiving degrees in Park Management and Conservation. Taylor David Breches. And finally, our graduates receiving degrees in Wildlife and Outdoor Enterprise Management. Chad Jordan Blickenstaff. Jacob Richard Eckert. Eric Michael Knowles. Tyler Livingston Wise. We will now pause to change sides and introduce the remaining graduates, starting with graduates in Animal Sciences and Industry.
It is now my privilege to introduce Dr. Ken Odie, head of the Department of Animal Science and Industry, who present to graduates receiving a Bachelor of Science in Agriculture with a major in Animal Science and Industry.
No, come out past it. There you go. Keeps the tassels from turning in front.
Megan Lynn Allard. Crystal Charlene Aletti. Rochelle Marine Bean. Amanda Nicole Beckmeyer. Kelsey Marie Bennett. Heidi Nicole Breeze. Ashley Lynn Chavez Scott. Billy Joy Chesney. Jamie Lynn Christensen. Kylie Vi Clarkson. Michael Shane Connell. Brian Scott Dewey. Ashley Michaela DiMattina. Carl Thomas Dreiss. Logan Joseph Eck. Caitlin Nicole Flood. Samantha Nicole Gans. Kimberly Catherine Glotzbach. Shelby Lynn Gordon. Olivia Nicole Graham. Rachel Elizabeth Hand. Amber Lee Jean Hansen. Caroline May Hansen. Jacob Drew Hartz. Simone Alexandra Holiday. Caitlin Ashley Horton. Ely Elizabeth Kirby. Suzette Rose Kramer. Colton D. Lowry. Madeline Elizabeth Lucas. Socorro Lorenzo Martinez. Esther Doris McCabe. Janessa Lynn McDaniel. Elisa Marie Meredith. Benjamin Eric Neathammer. Mark Hunter Ott. Alexandra May Owens. Gina Lee Owens. Taylor Danielle Parker. Erica Jordan Pearson. Anna Marie Petrosky. Sierra Dawn Phillips. Rebecca Jean Porter. Kylie Frances Puckett. Sarah May Ramsey. Richard L. Reedy-Helch. Cheyenne Frances Robertson. Lauren M. Rumbaugh. Shane Justin Shockey. Presenting Shane's diploma is his father, Dr. Scott Shockey, Associate Professor, Animal Science and Industry. Hannah Lee Seeger. Michaela Ray Simmelink. Chelsea Nicole Smith. Elizabeth Ann Stricker. Jacqueline Marina Tinoco. Daniel Ray Unruh. Next, Dr. Gordon Smith, head of the Department of Grain Science and Industry, will present to graduates receiving a Bachelor of Science degrees in Bakery Science and Management, Feed Science and Management, and Milling Science and Management. Emma Kate Hayes. Kylie Ray Lieber. Elizabeth Catherine May. Jackie Hugh Wong. We will now present to students majoring in Feed Science and Management. Alec Chapman Hill. Cody James Jensen. Sarah Lynn Matthey. will now present to students majoring in milling science and management. Benjamin Tyler Elliott. Cody John Knight. Kenton Reese Robert. Jody Lynn Roberts. Tyler Ray Wooster. Next, Dr. Curtis Kastner, Director of Food Science Institute, will now present to graduates receiving a Bachelor of Science in Food Science and Industry. Jenny Marie Bright. Rachel Bloffus Hall. Kirsten Marie Heine. Lena Elizabeth Hennig. Paul Benjamin Lewis. Jeffrey Michael Maiden. Jennifer K. Nelson. Nathan James Neely. Ashley Danae Nunes. Ian Maxie Palfy Patterson. Kyle Andrew Phelan. Caitlin Emily Panetta. Rachel Marie Richenberger. Olivia Martha Robinson. Sarah Ann Whitehead. Bing Yin. Janae Kayleen Zimmerman. Dr. Boggs, that concludes our diploma presentations.
Let's give our graduates another nice round of applause. Graduates, commencement is not about the end. Think about the word commence. It's about the beginning. It's the beginning of new careers, for some of you, new families, and for all of you, a new stage in your lives. You can be proud to be a graduate of Kansas State, the first land-grant university in the nation. But we do have a few expectations of you as a K-State College of Agriculture alum. First, we expect you to capitalize on your education and the training you have received to make valuable contributions in your careers and to your professions, as well as to continue your professional development as a lifelong learner. Secondly, we expect you to build upon the outstanding record of citizenship, philanthropy, and service that you have established at K-State by becoming outstanding members of the communities to which you relocate to start your careers or to continue your schooling. Get involved and be engaged in community activities. They need your talents and they need your leadership skills. Finally, what truly makes K-State and the College of Agriculture a great place to be is the involvement and expectations of our alumni. Thus, we expect you to keep bleeding purple, to stay involved with K-State, and to continue to challenge us to be the best that we can be. I am confident that I speak for all of our faculty, staff, and administrators when I say that it has truly been our privilege to contribute to your education and be a part of your lives these last few years. We are very proud of you, and we wish you the very best. Would everyone please join me again in congratulating our graduates. Thanks to all of you for participating in this special occasion for our graduates. We ask that you please remain seated for the formal recessional. The graduates will follow the stage party to the rear of the floor seating and up the far north stairs to the concourse area. We ask that families then exit immediately behind your section and meet the graduates on the upstairs concourse. This will help us clear the floor for the next ceremony that follows. Thank you once again to our musicians for sharing their musical talents, and to Simone Holliday, Jason Bergtold, and Jordan Peschel for speaking at our ceremony today. Again, my congratulations and best wishes to the graduates. For our adjournment, please turn to page 3 and join in the singing of the K-State Alma Mater.